At Petty John Auto Center, we put customers first, making car buying easy and stress-free with honest pricing and no hidden fees. Choose from 9 trusted brands of new cars: Ford, Lincoln, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC, plus more than 250 quality pre-owned vehicles. Our service department is here to keep you on the road with confidence. Visit any of our 3 locations in Bethany, Albany, and Trenton, or browse our inventory anytime at pettyjohnauto.com.
Have friends or family coming to Bethany? Give them a home away from home at Hidden Acres Cabin Rentals. In the rolling hills of Bethany, our cozy cabins start at $140 a night and include everything guests need to relax: private space, modern amenities, and a peaceful country setting. Book a cabin today at hiddenacrescabinrentals.com or call 660-373-9927. Hidden Acres Cabins. Comfort for your guests, just minutes from you.
All right, CF Rainey here again on another one of our Sports Central interviews brought to you by Harrison County Community Hospital. Joined again this week by Coach Kasey McFall, South Harrison wrestling coach. And Coach, we'll kind of go back. So a weekend ago, you were over in Albany at the James Boer Invitational. How'd that day go for you guys as a team?
Yeah, that went well. We took third as a team out of 17 schools, I believe. So we had a pretty good day, and we were missing a couple guys. So if we would have had them, I think we could have made a run to get a trophy there. But overall, it was a good day. We wrestled a lot of tough matches, and the boys did a really good job competing and battling the whole day.
So then you come back, and we were able to live stream. You guys had a try with a couple of good schools, with Hamilton and Maysville, and there were definitely some good matches. I think you guys won both of those matchups as teams, but there were some really good individual matchups that night as well, a couple nights ago.
Yeah, it was a good night. It was a fun night, especially with the youth deal afterwards. I think a lot of people like seeing that, and Hamilton and Maysville are both good programs, and they have a lot of really good wrestlers. So it was good seeing them, and right before districts. So some of our kids had some tough matches, and that's exactly what we wanted out of that night. And then now we got a little break before districts, so we can focus on just getting sharp, getting our bodies right, recovering, and confidence going into districts.
So you mentioned that with the youth, and there are a bunch of little kids there. It was fun to watch all the kids running around and going out there. How important is youth wrestling to what you're doing at the high school level, as far as kids getting just introduced to the sport, but also learning some technical things when they're younger?
It's very important just to get even if you're just getting a taste of it as you're 12, 13, 14. You don't have to start when you're 6, but it's always great if you can. But it's very important. A lot of our seniors started in our youth program or in a different club, and it makes a huge difference. And I think just everyone getting to see that, it was a lot of fun. I think doing that every year, it gets a lot more kids interested. And just since Tuesday, I've had 5 different freshmen come up to me and tell me, "Hey, Coach, I want to wrestle next year. I want to wrestle next year." So, it just brings a lot more attention to the sport, and it's a great thing.
Well, and also the importance of having home meets for people to come and see what you guys are doing is big, I'm sure, with getting those new people. The other thing is when you're talking about the technical aspect, and I was thankful Jeremy Van Meter joined me when we were doing our live stream, because I am not an expert on wrestling as far as everything that goes on. I understand how the points are given and those things. But when you're watching a wrestling match, and especially Cray Coffey and the Nixdorf kid from Hamilton, 2 guys, his dad's a wrestling coach, 2 guys that have been doing it a long time. And that was just kind of a chess match. It was, I think, 0-0 at the end of the first, just kind of filling each other out. Maybe talk about, even when you have guys that are that good athletically, how the technical aspect comes into a match like that.
Oh yeah, it's every tough match is a chess match, if you would say. But those guys both have wrestled, for a really long time. They wrestled they wrestled each other several times. So every time they wrestle, Dave's coaching his son up and trying to capitalize in certain positions, and they know what Cray's trying to do. So from our perspective, we're trying to, learn new things and add to Cray's arsenal. And Cray's done a great job of that. He's turned into a different wrestler this year. He's got a lot more tricks in his bag. And all of our wrestlers, we're trying to do that. And every time we see a wrestler over and over, it is a chess match, and they're game planning for us. We're game planning for them. So, and then just kind of to touch on the different levels of just technique and experience we have on our team. Cray's been wrestling since he was really little, Ruger. And then we have kids like Mason Galloway, who's, only been wrestling for 2 years. And he's having a lot of success this year. Ethan Smith didn't start wrestling until junior high, and he's had a very successful career. He's getting up close to 150 wins now. And then just a couple of years ago, we had Mason Edwards, didn't touch a wrestling mat until 8th grade and was a state finalist. So, if you buy into the sport and you buy in and you're coachable and you do things on your own, you can progress really quickly in the sport.
And so you talk about technique and those things, and Jeremy and I, we kind of touched on it the other night, and it's something I didn't necessarily know. Film study, how much that helps in wrestling, especially when you're going to see some of these guys in districts that maybe they've seen before, just looking at film, because I think people understand with football or basketball, sports where you can see plays being run or anything, just how important film study is for your wrestlers, maybe seeing guys they've seen a couple times.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different ways to watch film in wrestling. We watch obviously our own matches, and then we'll watch matches of guys we know we're going to see at districts or at state or whatever that is. But one thing we got to do is we don't want to change the way that we wrestle depending on who we're wrestling. We can change little things, but we don't want to forget who we are. We still want to get into our ties and take our shots and be offensive. We can't just shut down. And then a lot of our wrestlers do a really good job of watching other wrestlers, on the NCAA level. Like Ethan Smith, he spends a lot of time watching wrestlers that he likes and that do similar things, and he learns a lot from them. And he's learned a lot from them over the years. So that's a great aspect of film too. And I encourage everyone on our team to find a wrestler that they kind of are inspired by or whatever that might be, and just to study them. And that helps a ton, especially your first and second year when you really, don't know a whole lot.
Okay, so you have districts and this has probably been the case with girls wrestling, but districts, girls is coming up this weekend. Then boys, you have an entire week off, and then states the same time. Has it always been that way, where districts on separate weekends?
Yep, since I've been coaching, and this is my 5th year, it's been that way. The girls' districts is a week before, and then the boys follow, and then they go to state at the same time. So boys get that week off, right now and next week, and then the girls, have that week off next week if they are to make it to state. But I think that is changing next year. I think they're going to be the same weekend.
Yeah, because that kind of gives that gap for the boys, which is good if you're trying to get healthy or do those things. So heading into girls districts, do you have some girls that are feeling comfortable going into this weekend that maybe they have an opportunity to move on to that state level?
Yeah, I think so. Our girls have, progressed really well this year. They've done an awesome job, and they come in and they work really hard every single day. And I have a great group, all 5 of them. They work their tails off. They do, they practice side by side with the boys, and they push themselves every day. And I think all of them feel pretty good about tomorrow night. We have that seating meeting tonight, so we'll kind of get an idea of who's in their bracket and what it's looking like. But they're looking sharp. They're confident right now. So we'll just see what they can do this weekend.
All right, and then the boys. So a week off. How do you approach that to keep them sharp? Because obviously districts is when you want to be your sharpest, heading to district with the opportunity to get to state. How do you approach that with that time off?
Yeah, so this week practices haven't really changed. We're doing, still quite a bit of live, not as much as we were. We're doing some conditioning, but really we're kind of toning it back. We don't want any unnecessary injuries. We want everyone to be feeling 100%. So we're spending a lot of time just doing some light drilling, play wrestling, and then, we'll play a game at the end of practice. But I want the kids, feeling really good. I want their bodies feeling really good. I want their minds feeling really good. And then by the end of next week, I want them to be really excited to wrestle. So, kind of an old school approach to that would be, it's the end of the year. We need to practice harder, harder, harder. Well, we're kind of taking a step back. You're not going to get in much better shape this late in the year. The work's been put in. So right now it's just about being sharp, getting your bodies right, and building a level of confidence so you're ready to go.
All right. Well, Coach, good luck this weekend with the girls and next weekend with the boys. And we'll see if we can talk next week maybe about how it went with the girls district wrestling. But appreciate your time as always.
Yep. Thank you, CF.